A Place Called Perfect, Chapter 9. Iris Archer. Violet's heart skipped. The same old lady she'd seen here on her first day in Perfect was watching her from behind the window of the house opposite. Quickly, Violet looked away. When she dared to look back, the lady was gone. A few minutes later, the door of the house swung gently open, and the old woman resumed her place by the window. Was she inviting her in? Violet stood up from the bench and walked towards the house. "Hello," she called, stopping just outside the opened door. There was no response, so she stepped into the hall. The interior was almost perfect, but just like the outside, there was something slightly off. The floor was a little wonky and creaked underfoot. The only light in the house seeped through dirty lace curtains, and dust gathered thickly on everything in sight. It was like the place had never been polished, which was odd, as dusting was almost an Olympic sport in Perfect. A door off the hallway was partially open into a room on the left. "Hello," Violet called as she peered round it. The old lady was sitting in her spot by the window, a shadow cast across half her body. "You opened the door," Violet said, edging further in. "I did." "Are you okay? Do you need some help?" "No," the old lady croaked. She had white hair that sat like a bird's nest on top of her head. Her dress was black and plain. She wore no shoes or socks, and her thin, bony feet poked out from under a black-laced hem. Her face was kind, though her eyes were sad. "Are you sure you're okay?" Violet asked. The old woman didn't answer and turned once more to stare out the window. Then it hit Violet. "You're not wearing glasses," she gasped. "Eyes don't need glasses to see," the woman replied. "They are the window to my soul. Why would I curtain them?" "But," Violet stuttered, "how aren't you blinded by the sun?" "It's the sun's that robbed me." Violet stepped closer into the room. "Eyes mad." The old woman snapped a warning. "Eyes mad. Them suns makes eyes mad. Iris Archer, they all say. That sun's no good. I protected him from Arnold, my William, my apple. Then jealous Ed and George ate him." "William Archer?" Violet asked. "He is your son? What happened to him?" "My moon, my sun, and my stars," Iris replied, her eyes welling with tears. "I'm sorry," Violet said. "I didn't mean to upset you." "He's not here," Iris continued. "They said he was bold as brass, a divided soul, but I knew he had spirit. A child without spirit is the sky without stars. He had stars, my William, a world full of stars. Are you in school with him?" Violet shook her head. No, I don't think so. I'm new in school. My dad works for George and Edward, though. They must be your sons too." "George and Edward, Edward and George. They took the light from my eyes. They've a streak like their father. Everything in order. There must be order." Violet stepped back towards the hallway. The old lady was clearly crazy, and she didn't want to upset her any more than she already had. My man has tea on, and I have to go. It's risotto," she rambled. "Don't drink the tea," Iris snapped, bolting up from the chair and moving quickly towards her. "Don't drink it, I tell you." Okay, I won't, I promise," Violet stuttered, stumbling backwards. She was just about to step back into the hallway when the lady spoke again. This time she didn't sound so mad. "You remind me of him, Violet. You remind me of my William. There's spirit inside you too. Keep it close." "You know my name." "The boy told me. He's watching out for your spirit. You've connected with his soul." "Which boy?" Violet hadn't met any boys in Perfect except for the ones in her class, and they definitely weren't looking out for her. Iris didn't answer. She had slipped back into her own world. Violet asked once more, and when she got no reply, walked from the house into the sunshine and headed reluctantly back towards home. And that's the end of chapter 9.